They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stars in the House. I'm James Wesley.
I'm Seth Rudetsky, and that was Liz Calloway, who sings our theme song every week. The original Anastasia.
That's right.
What is Stars in the House, you may say? We're just here to see the Kids Are All Right cast. However, we've been around since everything shut the hell down last March. We started to raise money for the Actors Fund. And you may say, why rich actors? Because it's not just for rich actors. It is for everybody. And Annette Bening is going to explain that very, very soon.
Yes.
It's for, so, it's for everybody in the arts. But the most important thing is tonight, when you donate, and you donate at StarsInTheHouse.com, we want you to forward a donation to donations@StarsInTheHouse.com. And then we're going to have one of these amazing stars read a donation in character. Mark's going to be cooking up a storm, and that's going to be just cold, glaring.
She has to have her wine. She
Julianne's
has to have her wine.
Uncomfortable. But anyway, the point is,
for any donation over $1,000, Annette, have your wine ready.
Signature wine. I think she gives it up at the end of the movie, I'm hoping. But anyway, forward to donations. But really what's brilliant is that when you donate tonight, it's going to count not just once, not just twice. It's going to count three times. Knock 3 times on the ceiling. It's going to count 3 times. Why is
We've
that?
never had a triple match before in all of the hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of Stars in the House shows we've had since March of last year. We've never had a triple match, but producer Gary Gilbert, triple match. He's doing a triple match, and he is here along with the cast and Lisa, the director and co-writer. But first, Seth, I feel like, and we do, by the way, because I know we have a lot of people who have never seen the show before. We do have a medical break. We've had that from the very beginning. Dr. John Lapook, who's the chief medical correspondent of CBS News, is our chief medical correspondent, and we've been getting COVID-19 updates from him from day one.
Yeah,
he'll be here around 8:25 Eastern to give that and to give the cast a little break before we resume with them. But I think, Seth, because we've got that down, we need to get Annette on because Annette can explain the Actors Fund better than we can.
What is the Actors Fund? Let us ask Miss Annette Bening.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Annette.
Hi, Annette.
Hi. Good to see you.
I love your Zoom background. It looks like all these books.
Yes, they are real books. This is my bookcase in my office.
So beautiful.
Annette, I'm embarrassed to say I don't know your exact title with the Actors Fund. I just know that you are all about the Actors Fund and you have been for many years. But do you have a title?
I do. Brian Stokes Mitchell is chairman of the board, and I'm vice chair of the board of trustees.
Vice chair.
And I love the Actors Fund because, as you guys mentioned, we help everybody in show business. That is everybody. Behind the curtain, in front of the curtain, behind the camera, and in front of the camera. And this last year, as you guys know, has been catastrophic for people in show business. It's coming back now some in film and TV, but live entertainment is still really, really slow. It's picking up, though. I've heard about some musical concerts that will be outside this summer. But for folks that are working day to day, who've been basically employed most of the time, and some employed intermittently, this has been really a tragic time. Really, really hard. And the entertainment business is huge. Billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. So the Actors Fund, with your help, immediately stepped up, and they, to their credit, they were very nimble and were able to go online very quickly. And we started this COVID relief fund that was targeted just for people during this time. And we're talking about people just trying to put food on the table, pay their rent, pay their medical bills. And we got all of this response from not only all over the country, because of course we're serving people all over the country, but we got help from TikTok and Netflix, and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences stepped up and made a donation. The Stagehands Union, the stagehands have had a really tough time during this, during COVID. So the Actors Fund and what they've been doing for over 100 years suddenly became even more important. Yeah. And they've really managed incredibly well. And I think we have raised about $20 million. Yeah. And we've served, I just did a PSA the other day for the fund, and we've served 40,000 people over the country, all over the country, people that work in show business. And so we're just trying to continue in that work that we're doing tonight. So we really appreciate having another night. And tonight we get to have my family, basically. I said it was a cast reunion, but it's more like a family reunion for us. And a big shout out and thank you to Gary Gilbert. I know you guys already mentioned Gary, who is one of our producers, who stepped up and said, hey, I'll triple any donation. So that's just, we're so appreciative to Gary. And yeah, so the Actors Fund, you can go online if you want to learn more about what they do. If for people out there who aren't familiar, we have a senior residence in New Jersey. We help with housing, big insurance. There's a big insurance component to what the Actors Fund does. They have a program called Every Artist Insured.
Yeah.
Obviously, lots of people have their insurance tied to their employment. So you can imagine what's happened to people's health insurance over the last year. We have had some government support, but still, the Actors Fund, you can contact them if you are in trouble. You don't know quite how to handle keeping your health insurance or getting health insurance. So yeah, there's a lot of career guidance. There's also just financial education and planning for people, which is good. So anyway, I do love the fund. They don't waste money. They have a very high rating on, there's a rating service that rates charities, and they're way up there because they're effective. They have an incredible staff. I mean, some of the staff actually took salary cuts during COVID in order to better serve, the public. I mean, they're amazing people. They lead with their hearts. And so I know you guys are all over it. You have been for a year. So it's great to be here tonight with everybody.
Yes.
Kids are all right.
I love it. I just want to just remind people the money that goes out really is to simple things like just helping people with their rent when they're behind, paying their groceries or medical bills. I'm going to bring Mark on because I put something in the private chat, Mark. I'd love you to read it. Just a letter from a happy recipient.
Please welcome to Stars in the House, Mark Ruffalo.
Hi, Mark.
Hey,
Mark.
hey, Annette.
Cheers.
Hey, Seth. Hey, James.
Cheers.
Hi, Mark. Would you mind doing a cold read, as we say in showbiz, on the private chat?
You know what? I don't. Did you send it to me in a text or?
No, I'm going to put it in one more time. Look, maybe do you see that right now? Send.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, this is from a grant recipient. This is. Oh, it disappeared.
What? Oh, I'm going to do it one more time.
You know what? I think it pops up and then it disappears. Let me see if I can hold it.
We might text it.
Yeah, text it to me.
Okay, why don't you bring the rest of the cast and I'll text.
Well, Annette, do you want to welcome your family on? You want to introduce them?
Let's welcome our esteemed director, Lisa Cholodenko.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, woman.
Actors. Family.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Should I just keep going, guys?
Keep going, Annette.
Okay, so we've got Gary Gilbert, our producer extraordinaire.
Hello.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Josh Hutcherson.
Your son.
Hi, John.
Oh, my
Oh
family.
my God.
Grown up.
Grown up.
He's all grown up.
That happened.
I was just watching the movie a little bit. I have to say, what a fucking good movie. I mean,
So good.
really. All right.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Julianne, my dear wife, should be here.
Julianne Moore.
Mwah.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
You all. So great to see you. I think Mia's joining us later.
She's here.
She's here.
Oh, she is here.
Yes.
Jeez.
Oh my God, my long lost daughter.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
This is
Mia.
so good.
Oh, wow.
Mia, what time is it where you are?
In Australia.
It's 10:10 in the morning. There was a little bit of time confusion, but I managed to hustle and get in front of the camera.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry if there was some confusion about time. We are
No,
we are
it's fine.
confused.
No, it's great to be here. No, it's great.
Mark, we texted. Why don't you read just to get people to
Okay.
donate?
This is really touching, actually. So The actress. This is from a grant recipient. One of the grant recipients from what the work that this fund does. The Actors Fund has helped me with another grant to help pay off some of these overwhelming bills. Also, your staff includes the most kind, responsive, and helpful people who helped guide me through the application process. What gems. I will always remember the Actors Fund, and hopefully once we get over this hurdle of lockdowns and isolations, and I can become a bigger income earner, I too can contribute to the Actors Fund again.
Oh, that's so
Pretty
nice.
beautiful.
Wow, that
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you for writing that. Do we have the name of that person?
No,
I
we try to keep everything anonymous.
Now, and that the Actors Fund they're very good about keeping confidentiality. So
yes, of course, we want to
so-
do that. I just want to thank you, whoever you are, and it actually really gets me in my gut to hear you say that about the staff, because I can't tell you. That's why I am here, is because the human beings that run this organization and how much they care, their commitment, their ability to jump in. When there were the fires up in Oregon recently, we had the terrible, terrible fires. Well, there's a very esteemed Shakespeare festival in Oregon. And a lot of the people that work in the festival, at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, live in 2 of the towns that were hit and just basically decimated. And they lost everything. And I'm telling you, the fund was on the phone almost before I was to try to connect the people there with them so they could step up and help. They're amazing.
I love you know so much, some more stories than we do. Okay,
I think we should start the conversation with Lisa, because
The source.
It all starts with you, right, Lisa? Tell everyone who doesn't know what your inspiration was for the film.
Oh my God.
Okay, go girl.
you got 2 hours.
It was myself, obviously. Write what you know. Write what you know. I was trying to have a kid. I was interested, it was right before what was it called? The Marriage Act. Maybe it was a few years before that. We were ahead of the curve. My girlfriend and I were trying to get pregnant at the time. I met Stuart Blumberg again after knowing him in New York. He told me he had been a sperm donor. I was like, this is it. It's kismet. You know this part of the story. I know this part. We're going to write a script. And so it was. It just took a beat 5 years later.
But Gary, it wasn't exactly easy to, it wasn't like the first studio you went to, they said yes.
Yeah, it seems like a hard pitch.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Well, first off, we shot this in June of '09, which is only 6 months after the financial meltdown of 2008. So it was a great time to raise money. That was a joke. And it was very difficult not only to raise money, but also to get distribution. I mean, we just could not get any distribution up front. And the only company at the time that committed to us prior to principal photography was a company it was a brand new company at the time called Overture. And we had a deal in place, and it was really a horrendous, awful deal that made no sense, but it was literally the only distribution that we can get. And at the last minute, we just decided, you know what, we're going to take a risk on this. We're going to tell these guys to, buzz off, and we're going to just make this independent of any distributor or studio, and take our chances with premiering it at Sunday. And thank God we did that, because had we not done that, the distributor, they were in business for about 15 minutes and they were gone. So had we stayed with them, I really don't know if the movie would have ever been seen, or would have had a very, much, much smaller audience for sure.
It would have been straight to Betamax. Excellent. Lisa,
Wasn't that long ago.
If people don't know, Lisa's not only the co-writer, but she's also the director. We're so curious, why did you choose this cast? Because you're the director. Was it an open call? I mean, how'd you pick these amazing people?
It was an open call. You're funny. Julie and I had a long relationship. We wanted to work together. So she just stepped forward and said, I know this is going to be hard to put together. I know it's not going to be a big budget thing, I'm into you. I'm into this. I'm down. And she was just down for the ride. That was like a 5-year down.
I met Lisa in a bathroom and asked her why I hadn't seen the script to High Art.
And I was like, what? You?
That's right. Let me do that. Please hire me.
And Julie, why hadn't you seen that script?
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought Julianne Moore was like, sure, I'll do High Art. You know, I was like some punk coming out of film school. So it really opened my eyes to, I'll tell you the truth, to actors and how awesome actors are. And I freaking love actors. I just do. They're so tender. They're bodhisattvas. The good ones, they're bodhisattvas. Annette Bening, I met through my then sort of sister-in-law in a Le Pen quotidian in LA. My then sister-in-law said, Annette, you're going to love this script. You're going to do this movie. And Annette said, well, yeah, sure. You know, she was eating her croissant. Yeah, send it. I know. And then that was that. And I was all over Annette. I was all about Annette. I had said to my agent, like, you just got to do whatever you got to do because there's actually no one else. Now that we've unpacked this, there is no one else that's going to do this role. So Annette can tell you later off screen how much I hassled her. Mark Ruffalo, I had met in a cafe in Beechwood Canyon some years earlier, and I kowtowed to him and I said, dude, you can count on me. I was bawling in the hall. Will you work with me sometime? And it's a long story short, but he was going to retire for a minute. And then Julianne knew his wife, who called him at the last minute and said, why doesn't he just do this movie? And then he said, why am I not just doing this movie? And the next day he was like on the set. And it was kind of
pretty much.
I love it. It's such a let's put on a show type of atmosphere. Oh my.
Those are my principals. Mia and Josh were two people that I wasn't aware of that came to me through different sources and both said, oh, you just got to hire these people. You don't really know them, but trust me. And it was like, it was a treasure. It was just a gift. The two of them were a gift. My kid actually asked me the other day, said, was there anybody on the set of High Art that kind of, not High Art, sorry, Kids Are Right, that kind of bugged you? You know, like, was there anybody that was kind of difficult? And I said, I got to tell you something. That cast, there was no one that bugged me, and there was no one that was difficult. And I love all those actors.
Wow.
That's
we love you.
I love you guys still.
Back at you too.
Yeah.
Love you.
So as we were saying at the top, thanks to Gary here, who's our first time we've had a triple match on Stars in the House. Gary, the money's going to start flowing here because Mark already has donations that he's going to read.
Yeah, check your phone, Mark.
Check your phone, Mark.
Here we go. I'm dropping the ball. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is everyone. This is amazing. They're flying in. Yay! The triple match. Thank you, Gary Gilbert. Love Lisa Cholodenko. Since High Art. My donation. Sorry, I lost it. Let's see. There it is. Wow, there's so many that I lost my place. All right, my donation is in her honor. It's in your honor, Lisa. Carol in San Francisco for $62 times 3. I couldn't pass up the triple match tonight, even though I'm already a monthly donor. Love this movie and cast. 103 from Sheila in Virginia. Thank you to Seth, Community, and the Actors Fund. You've made me smile, cry, and laugh since Broadway's intermission. My thanks to everyone. Nancy, $100 from New Jersey times 3. This is from John in Plano, Texas. Seth, James, and the team, thanks for all that you've done for the Actors Fund over the past year. Shout out to David Katz. We know you're back there, David. And Dr. Lapook. So great to see this amazing cast back together again. John, 257 bucks. Thank you, John. This is my 65th donation to Stars in the House since March 2020.
Wow.
Wow.
The Actors Fund and the live theater are important to me. Thanks to all these beautiful humans. $103 from Mark in Massachusetts.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Hi, Seth and James and all the great people at Stars in the House. I am so pleased to donate $100 so it will become $300. And I dedicate this to entertainers everywhere, especially the amazing crew on the show tonight. Thank you for inspiring and entertaining us. David from Florida.
That's amazing.
More to come. That's amazing.
That's right. More to come.
Thank you, everybody.
Young people.
Yeah, you want to ask Seth?
Yes, I would love to talk to the younger folk like Josh and Mia. You know, the movie is such a social message. Do you feel like you guys changed after you made the movie? Like, how did you go into the movie and how did you come out of the movie? And Mia, do you really have an accent? Because I did not hear one in the film.
I have. I think I have an Australian accent, but it's always changing.
Shocking to hear it. What do you think you were like at the beginning versus the end?
Just personally, or
Yeah.
well, it was quite. I'd only sort of been acting for a couple of years at the time that I did Kids, and I don't know. I've sort of stepped back a little bit from acting the last couple of years. So when I look back at that time, it just seems wild and quite far away. But I feel like Kids is such a beautiful and important film to me, and these guys are so gorgeous, and I feel so lucky, and I feel a bit starstruck seeing everyone again because this is so wonderful. But yeah, it's just such a wonderful thing to be a part of, and actually, it's one of the films that a lot of people bring up to me constantly. That it's one of their favorites that I've been a part of, and I feel super proud of that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that answer.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I echo that 100%. People constantly talk about this movie to me and how much it impacted them personally, what it meant to them to feel represented in a way that felt honest and it wasn't made into some other, it was life. It was just life for these people. And that was something that I think Lisa in all of her films has captured, which is just showing true humanity in many beautiful ways and different forms. And so for me, I was extremely proud to be a part of it. I was 16 when we shot it. I've been acting for quite a few years before that, but it was like one of the first movie experiences where I didn't have my parents on set. And so in a way, like this group right here was such a family to me, and I felt so taken care of and loved. And it was an amazing experience.
God, so much love on the screen. Hey, Gary, I want to ask you, I just feel there's so many movies that are made and it's so many movies about, blowing people up and shooting. Why did you think like, I've got to finance a movie about like a lesbian couple? Like I don't know. It seems like a hard sell, man.
I fell in love with the script, and it wasn't that it was about a lesbian couple. It was just about a family that happened to be lesbian. So, I just love the script, and I just said, hey, I got to meet Lisa. And once we got in the room, it was I was sold.
Did you have anyone be like, this is going to be the death of your career?
I did not, but it was, it's funny. It was, it was only 11 years ago, but it feels like it was a lifetime ago in terms of how far we've come
right.
on the issue since then, right? So yeah, it was ahead of its time. I think it was definitely ahead of its time from a standpoint for sure.
We just watched it again. It seems like it was made this year. It does not seem like a dated film, except for the cell phones are this big. Hello, Julianne Moore. Why did you attack Lisa? Why were you like, I want to work with this woman?
Oh my God. I had seen High Art and I just flipped for it. She the way it's her humanity, the way she depicts all of us and our relationships and what we mean to each other and what life means. And it's not what I love about Lisa's films is there's not like some event. I'm not a big like explosion, let's climb a mountain kind of movie watcher. I like to watch relationships, and that's where Lisa just excels. That's where she lives. It's really about what we mean to each other and what our families are, what we produce personally and all of it. And so then, after I accosted her in the bathroom and said, let's see that script, she was like, yeah, let's work together. And then she sent me The Kids Are All Right. And I was like, oh, It's beautiful, you know, absolutely beautiful. And every single one of these actors, they're so, so extraordinary. And of course, you know, everybody knew Annette and everybody knew Mark. And then, but, you know, Josh and Mia, they were teenagers. Oh my God. And then we would all turn to each other and, who are these kids? Like, these amazing actors, you know, and they're stars now, you know, I mean, that's what's so interesting to be at that point in someone's career and to watch this, like, this talent, like, anyway, everybody in this movie, it was just it was a delight. I mean, it's really one of the shining moments of my career in terms of the work and the experience.
You know, you talk about being about relationships, and I love this one clip because I went to Oberlin and I was so surrounded by there's so many lesbians and so liberal, and I love how you know, Julianne and Annette just talk to each other at a highly therapized level. I just love all of, like, the deep, like, group work and couples counseling they've had. Here.
I feel like he has so much potential. He's just wasting it. What are you trying to say? What do you mean, what am I trying to say?
I just, you know, I feel like there's some subtext here.
What are you talking about?
You know, like mother, like son, both of us wandering in the dark, aimless, wasting our potential.
Honey, you're on a whole other tangent. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you know, maybe it hasn't risen to the plane of consciousness for you yet.
So good.
I can watch that movie again.
It's so classic.
So, Lisa, we had a question for you before we go to our medical break, because the time is already flying. I had to ask you about that moment. That's the big confrontation. I don't know what you call it, climax scene, really, of Annette's character finding out what Julianne and Mark are doing. That's the only scene I think that's that long of a shot. Which it's so long, by the way. We're gonna show it, but it's over 30 seconds, and because we're on YouTube will flag any clip that's over 30. So we actually split it in two. And for everyone to know, we're not springing this on Lisa. We respect Lisa as the director. So we actually showed Lisa beforehand. And I asked her, I said, is it okay if we split it in two? And she said, yes, it's fine. But why this particular moment? To shoot all 33 or 35 seconds or whatever in
of
one.
just a face. I mean,
are you just talking about the shot of Annette?
Since
I mean, technically that's how the shot went, but it just felt like it was a reverie. It was a moment, and it was deep, and it was all of a piece, and we slowed down the film, and we overcranked the film, and we were pushing in, and it was an elegantly choreographed shot that Annette had to be involved in the choreographing of it. So it was something that just, you know, went that long, and not every actor could do that, to pull it off for that long. But I didn't have to say that much to Annette. She got it. We were already that deep into the film. It was the end of the film. I gave her a couple directions. She knew what the camera was going to do, and it nailed it. And it was an amazing thing. It was like 3 a.m, I remember. Wow. But we cut into it a little bit, but I think I needed it as a piece, and it was choreographed and set up technically as just a oneer.
And Annette, what's it like to do that? To me, it's like the ultimate kind of film acting, which is literally completely in silence, and not since Norma Desmond. I mean, it's all just about it's all just your eyes, and all the acting is here. I mean, is that your favorite kind of acting because it's like the highest form of film acting?
I think that Lisa's being a little bit modest, because I think she actually, I'm going to go check now, but I think in the screenplay, she said something about this. And for people that don't know the movie, that it's just a long, slow shot in a movie that's otherwise shot in a much more, straightforward
natural,
way.
Right?
So that's also why. See, that's also Lisa and her direction, because that's also why it stands out. Is because she just does it once. So actually, these kinds of things are just a gift to the actor, because the camera is doing so much with you. And, my people were all there, and, Mark had hurt me deeply. Julianne had hurt me deeply. My kids weren't there, but No,
They were. They were
I'm
at the
joking,
table.
I'm
Everybody's
joking,
watching
I'm
you.
joking, but I'm not joking. No, I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It was, you know, that horrible moment when you find out that somebody hasn't been faithful to you. So yeah, no, I was really grateful for it because it helped me. The shot, you know, really helped me try to be in the moment and tell the story and all that.
And it's so we're about to show, but people don't know yet. She finds out that Annette finds out she's being cheated on, and she begins the dinner so healthily, and she's like, "I'm no longer drinking wine."
Not drinking wine, just drinking water. She's been drinking wine the entire movie.
And then as soon as she finds out, it's the deepest, most trying to fill an empty hole with a wine glass. It's so devastating. You just see how she's plunged.
You're like, please don't pick up the wine, but you have to. Here it is.
God.
All right. And remember, we're splitting this into, I'm going to try to
Yeah.
be as quick as I can to get back into it.
So we climbed up into the mountains, and I hear a rattling, and it was a rattlesnake. And so I was scrambling. I didn't know what to do, so I reached out. There was a rock in my hand, and I threw it at the rattlesnake, and it ended up hitting the snake in the head and smashing him against the rock. Right? And I felt very bad about it. I heard bad about it. And my money too, right? Oh my God. Well, you know, you're here quick. You guys spend some time with
Every time.
And Julianne, are you picking up on like what's happening? Are you like she's acting weird? What's your take?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I think Jules is always feels so guilty, you know. All the time. I think she feels like she's always being found out, you know. It's like it's like she can't, you know, she's she feels pretty, yeah, like she's going to be found out. But I don't know if that moment, I can't remember like if at that moment Jules recognizes that. I don't think it's till later, right? I don't think it's later. But I do think that Jules always feels guilty because she is.
And Mark, the babbling and the long story no one's interested in, was that scripted? Or was that you just improvising?
It was the spirit of the script.
I love it. It's like another story about you and your triumphs. Okay, just wondering.
It was a total improv. That's the worst thing you can do as a director. Say like, make it up. Just tell a story. Right? That's what I did.
It's so real, though. I love it.
Okay, we're going to take our medical break with Dr. John Lapook. We're going to give all of you a break. Lisa, thank you. The cast is going to come back after the break, but Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
and
you, guys.
Gary, thank you so much for the triple match.
And for producing.
Thank you, Gary.
Lisa. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll see.
All right, see you guys soon.
See the cast in a
Great
little
seeing
bit.
you, man.
All right.
All right.
Gosh, we have so many comments.
Yes. My gosh. Hi, Mark. Bye, Annette. All right. Please welcome to Stars in the House, Chief Medical Correspondent of CBS News, and our show, too, Dr. John Lapook.
Hi, Dr. Lapook.
This is exciting.
I know.
Nice night.
We've got real movie stars here at Stars in the House.
Movie stars.
Wow.
You know, this is everybody. I'm really struck by the emotional intelligence of the conversation. And it makes me think about this next phase that as we head towards more normality, we have to really be emotionally intelligent about what people have gone through, not only the PTSD, and I think the arts community is going to be telling these stories, and it's going to be very, very important to tell the stories and to give people a place to express themselves and to encourage people talking to each other, because it's not just going to be, you know, it's a zippity-doo-dah day. We finally got to a point where people can be together. There's going to be a lot of emotional scarring that's going on. There's a beautiful article that's written by my friend Lisa Grunwald that's in the Atlantic today. And I think it's something that people should be aware of, which is she talks about the fact that she has a variant of multiple sclerosis. So she's always, for years, has been limited in what she could do. She's been indoors. She couldn't go out and she would poop out, run out of energy. And in a way, it's been a little bit. She's been a little bit more able to cope with what's been going on than other people, where there's been such an abrupt change. She's used to it. And remember the movie Wait Until Dark, and where Audrey Hepburn she's blind, but she knocks out all the lights so that the person who's attacking her is on the same footing, and that's how she's able to escape. Well, now we're getting to a point where people are starting to go back to their more normal. I mean, we're not there yet by a long stretch, right?
No.
But I just want people to start thinking about the people who are going to be still left with whatever disability that they have and that they've been coping with, and that it's been a little bit more normal for them because their friends, their buddies are able to understand them a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, I see what you've been going through. It's all about empathy, really. And Lisa talks beautifully. She's one of the best writers in the world. And she talks beautifully about the empathy and about looking at people through a different lens. And I just would make a plea here for people to not get so wrapped up in the medical scientific part of the last chapter of the pandemic, hopefully, that they forget about what people like Lisa have going through, what they're going to be facing on the other side as everybody gets back to their lives and they're still indoors with whatever the disability is. And I rely on the arts community, as we always have, to save us. That's the same thought I had a year ago. The artists do what they've always done, and you're doing what the artists always do, which is to bring us together. And
you got a nice comment. This nice viewer, I have MS. I feel everything Dr. Lapook is saying. Thank you. I just want to do quickly, just because we were in New York City today. I saw a lot of people out. Can you just quickly say, if you're not vaccinated, are you supposed to be going to a restaurant even if it's 20% full without a mask? Can you just give an update for people that are new here?
If you're not vaccinated, I mean, we're seeing a spike in cases all over the place, including in New York City. We have the New York City variant and the UK variant. This ain't over. And we're seeing, of course, it fall to a different population, younger people, because the older people are now more increasingly vaccinated. But I've been saying this for a while. We have to dissociate. I know for thousands of years we've been eating together with people. We have to dissociate that right now. A lot of us eat really quickly anyway, right? Get the food in your mouth if you're not vaccinated, with people who are in your pod. Not with people who are outside of your pod, and then get together with masks with the people to socialize. But this is not a time to be sitting across from somebody indoors without a mask and eating. And we're seeing it in Michigan. We're seeing it in all sorts of places. And I know, the fact that it blows my mind still that a public health message has been politicized. It's crazy. But we're still at the point where we're discussing, should we have a mask mandate? Should we tell people that they have to do this? And you would think you would not have to say anything. And I go back to this analogy of it's World War II, it's the Blitzkrieg, and they're bombing London at night. And everybody has the blackout shades so that they're not seen. But somebody says, it's my right to put the lights on. I'm going to do that. Well, they might not get blown up, but the person next door could get blown up. And that's what's happening. When you don't wear a mask and there's somebody around you who's not vaccinated or who can't get vaccinated because they're immunocompromised or some other reason, or a baby who can't get vaccinated yet, or somebody who's a kid who can't get vaccinated yet, although we're hoping 12 to 15 gets approved. Pfizer has applied to the FDA for authorization. How many times do we have to say, really, you shouldn't have to say, let's think of the person next to us, not just ourselves. And yeah, you may think, well, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to survive, but you can't make that. You can't roll the dice for your neighbor. So anyway, we've been saying this over and over again. It's just, Yeah,
but I want to repeat it. All right, thank you, Dr. Lapook. We will see you
next Wednesday for a Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey reunion.
Next Wednesday.
See you then.
See you then.
Bye, Dr. L.
And that's a good reminder, actually, because we forgot to say it at the beginning of the show, to ask people to like, share, and subscribe.
If you like this video, it really helps the algorithm so that it keeps coming up and people keep donating. So like the video you're watching right now. share it in your social media. Be like, oh my God, I'm watching all these big movie stars. Just copy and paste the link and subscribe to this channel, because the more subscribers we have, the more we can have big stars like Annette Bening. We can go look at all these subscribers and she can say, yes, I will deign to do your show.
And in fact, we do have the announcement for the big Broadway reunion. That's a week from tonight.
Well, we got a big one.
And I tell you, if you have never
I'm going to
been
put it in the
Broadway,
private chat for
you
everybody.
You will know the show. You will have heard of the show. So that's being announced on Monday. So if you've subscribed to our YouTube channel, you'll know about it. And also, it's also going to be announced on Tuesday, a huge TV show that's going to be reunion on the 22nd.
Yep.
So we can't say what that was, but
I'm putting in the private chat.
Put it in the private chat for the cast of here. So let's bring the cast back. We've got so many clips. It was so fun to see the movie again and to pick all these clips. So we want to just show them, have fun, and chat. So Seth, bring out Annette. You want to bring out Annette and Mark?
Vice chair, and Mark with the amazing air traffic controller headphones. And
I knew you were going to say that.
They look good though. And Josh, Julianne, and the accent that I'm so shocked about, Mia. Hi, everybody. Okay, we have all these really fun clips because we've got to deconstruct how brilliant this movie is.
Yes. So where do we start, Seth?
I think we should
start literally at the one in chronological order. Okay.
We love it because we're sort of obsessed with this, because it's the whole be careful what you wish for. Because Josh, you're so obsessed with meeting your dad, and then when you do, it's so not what you want it to be. I'm so curious how you acted that, because I feel like you're too young to understand that it happens in real life. Like, how did you act that? Because you haven't really, I feel, ever experienced that. You were too young.
Yeah, I mean, the acting part was hard because I was stoked that Mark Ruffalo was my dad. That sounded really great. He's a great man. So that was tough. No, I mean, I think that it all goes back to the script and the story and Lisa and what she created with this whole family dynamic. And I mean, in general, the way that I approach acting is to think how that person would be feeling in that moment as that person. And, I think that Laser has built up a big expectation and a lot of hopes and, trying to find who he is as a young man and wants to find some answers in his father and try to find his biological father and find, some answers in that. So I think it's disappointing in a way, but I also think that he's more intrigued, I think, in a lot of ways than disappointed. Of what this man is and what part he plays in his own existence. Like, what is genetics and what is being a parent versus it's a complicated dynamic.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a natural question to want to ask. And the answers were complex, to say the least.
All right, let's take a look here.
Yeah, Joni's the brains in the family. She's got the National Merit Scholarship for Science.
Shut the front door.
Hey, Laser, thanks.
Wow.
I'm just telling him you're smart.
No, I just work harder than you.
Hey, Laze, seriously, don't sweat school, man. I mean, I didn't do well in school either. And I'm not doing so badly now, right?
It's Laser.
Oh, sorry, Laser.
First of all, it mortified me. I'm constantly giving people nicknames, so I was so uncomfortable watching that because he called you out. It made me so uncomfortable. Why can't it be Lays? What's wrong with that? Why so mean?
Big deal.
I mean, he just, he's calling it as it is, keeping the man honest. Like, let's see what's really going on here.
Oh my gosh.
Not going to be that easy.
No.
God.
Which one?
I want to show Mia. So Mia, here's where you this scene also as a parent made me crazy because it's a lot of like, I'm 18, I'm an adult. I'm like, really? Who's paying for your college?
This conversation was felt very familiar.
I was like yelling at the TV. He was like, they can't hear you. How old were you when you actually filmed it? I mean, were you adult enough to know that this is an annoying kid, or were you that annoying kid?
I don't know that I was, I think I was maybe 19 or, I think I was 19 or 20. And I didn't go to university, so I was not that annoying kid yet. But yeah, it was just all those scenes between the mothers and parents. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who literally had that conversation with her daughter, which was like, you're going to stay home tonight because I'm paying for your school. And if you want to go out, you can go to the public school. So, yeah, I think it's quite universal.
That's the kind of parenting I do. Here's the scene.
Wow. Funny how someone conveniently forgot to tell me that they were driving home on a motorcycle. Do you know how many people I've seen come into the hospital paralyzed from motorcycle accidents?
I'm a very safe driver, Nick.
Yeah, that is so not the point that I'm making, Paul. Joni knows that this is something I just never allow.
Mom, I'm 18 years old.
Yeah?
I won't even be living here in like a month.
Yeah, well, you're living here now.
Yeah, well, why don't you get a jump on it and pretend like I'm not?
The chutzpah.
No, but the fact that donor dad brought her on a motorcycle. I mean, come on. With sunglasses on at night.
The jacket says it all, doesn't it?
Well, Annette gets it back at you. Talk about the
classic line. Hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag. We'll let Annette say it.
She's never talked to me like that before.
You know, if you backed off a little bit on the restrictions, you probably wouldn't have so much conflict.
Oh, really? You think so, Paul? Is that how it works?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Paul's just giving me some child-rearing lessons.
I'm just saying.
Listen, when you've been a parent for 18 years, you come and talk to me, okay?
I'm just making an observation.
Yeah? Well, I need your observations like I need a dick in my ass.
Oh my God.
Doesn't get more real than that.
No, it does not.
That's good.
Forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Oh my God.
I blanked that out.
I love it so much.
If this is ever made into a musical, that has to be the song.
Hey, Josh, I think you have some donations to read.
Oh, yeah, I do actually.
They've been coming in.
Here we go. James and Seth rewatched the movie today and reminded me how beautiful it is. Please know that each of you here tonight, when you may be having a bad day or be down, you bring such hope and light to people you don't even know. Hugs and love from ND. Mike, $342.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Got another one. Hi, Seth and James. We're here for the triple match and the double match. Nancy's employer always double matches our donation to the Actors Fund. So we're excited that it is 75 is going to grow into a total of $450. Love you guys, Nancy and Susan in Georgia. That's amazing. This is amazing. And then one more is thank you for such an amazing cast. Thank you for your gifts. The arts give us such an outlet. This is amazing. Thank you again, Stuart, $150 from Maryland. Thank you, guys.
So lovely.
Wow.
And people don't remember, this is for the Actors Fund. It's for all these artists, and not just actors. Wedding singers, people that do makeup.
Any professional in the performing arts around the country, not just New York, not just LA, all over the country. And there has been so much, as Annette was saying at the very beginning, if you're joining us a little bit late, over $20 million has been distributed by the Actors Fund to people all across the country. In fact, they are giving out second grants right now.
Second waves of donations,
that help people pay their rent, utilities, food,
grocery bills,
things.
like
That's right.
health insurance. So anyway, thank you, everybody. All right, back to the dysfunction of the relationship. I would love to show Julianne and Annette, how was it really fun just sort of playing? Is it fun to play such passive aggressive and dislike, or is it like uncomfortable?
What do you think, Annette? What do you say?
I say that, when you are lucky enough to, and I mean this sincerely about Mark and Josh and Julie and Mia, when you work with people like this, then you just have to absorb what they're doing. And so it makes the work just symbiotic. And Julie, Julie has done so many different kinds of roles. And I started watching this movie today. I didn't get the whole thing done, but I'm going to finish it when we're done. And Julie, what Julie did is so different. It really, when you watch her performance, it's so different. We didn't really know each other, right, Julie? And we had to just jump in. But she just made it so easy. And all of us have played opposite people. Sometimes it's tricky when you're playing opposite someone, And so Julie made it very, very easy for me. And Mia and Josh, and I was reminded of this when I was watching the movie. a very, very good actor at that age can teach you more about acting than any acting class, because they are so simple and real. And I noticed that when we were working, and especially in difficult moments, like you could not make Mia, you could not push her to be phony. She just will not do. She has the inner censor. So I was really reminded of that when I was watching the film. And so, because when you come to the set, you're nervous, you know, you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know how the moments are going to go. You don't know how you're going to, you know, you have ideas in your head, but you know, it never happens until hopefully the camera's rolling. So that when you feel this sort of stuff coming at you that's so generous and real, then it just makes everyone just, and also Lisa was very, I remember her as being incredibly watchful. She's not overly intrusive, but she knows where to put the camera. So that's my spiel.
Well, I mean, one of the things that struck me watching it again is that on the surface, you would think, oh, this is a drama, but it's really a comedy that has drama in it. I mean, it's a family comedy.
That's good writing. See, and Julie knows how to do that. So, and Mark and all of them. It's not like, and when you're playing a scene, sometimes you don't know. You don't know if it's going to end up being funny. I certainly don't. Funny or not. You know, you're just playing the truth of the moment. Julie?
Why? Yes. And I think that, you know, one of the things that's so beautiful about this movie, and I think that every single one of these actors tapped into so beautifully, we're all in families, you know? We all have, you know, parents, and some of us had children, and some of us had been in long-term relationships. And so, you know, we all had associations with this. I think for Annette, for the two of us, especially all those years ago, people kept saying like, oh, what's it like to be in a same-sex relationship? I'm like, it's not any different than being in a heterosexual, right? It's the same thing. And Ned and I had both been married for a really long time. So when you talk about those energies, you know, about like how it's like that kind of intimacy, how do you explore that? How far can you go with someone? And because I think all of us had experience in families and relationships, we were able to do that because Lisa set it up that way. And because these actors are so fine, so fine. So it was this really pleasurable and intimate experience, you know, exploring these relationships. And Annette said this, the script held it, the actors held it, the director held it, and it was funny and familiar and touching because we'd all, you know, we, the actors and the audience, have lived it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what feels so great, I think, about it.
If I can say a quick story, so back to what Annette was saying about you just act it as it is. When I read this script and when I acted every single scene, I thought there was nothing funny about it at all. I thought we were making a straight family drama. And I remember, I remember sitting in the theater at Sundance, and the movie starts up, and all of a sudden the audience is laughing, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. They're laughing at us. They're laughing at our movie. They're laughing at my face. They're laughing at all of our faces. I had a full like panic attack of like, okay, that's it, Josh. That was a fun trip acting, and now that's the end of everything. Like it was a full on like.
Yes, Josh was so surprised.
Like, I still do that with my kids. I'm like, huggies. Oh my God.
But Josh,
you never know.
So when you were in the audience, were you with the cast? Were you like whispering in a panic, or were you by yourself? Like, what happened?
I just remember being, my mom was there with me because I was 17 and I was super excited to take her. And I remember like her trying to be like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, it's not. There's nothing okay about this. This is not good. This is not good. We did not make a comedy and everyone's laughing. This is not good at all. And I had a full on, you remember that?
I remember Josh coming out of the screening at Sundance and being like, I had no idea we were making a comedy.
I did.
That was and
I was 16, guys. Come me some slack. Come me some slack.
But Josh, this scene is literally farce. I mean, I'm gonna show the scene where they think you're gay. I mean, it's old school farce. Like the
crazy. Played it as real. It felt real.
Yes,
I don't know.
That's why it works.
That's why it works.
It's played real, but everybody watched. So people don't
Set
know
it up,
he's
Seth.
he's basically connected with Mark Ruffalo, and the audience knows that he's connected with his
But
sperm donor
Annette
dad.
and Julie don't know.
And they've constantly suspecting because he has a best friend that he's actually gay, which is hilarious. So here it is. It's old school farce. Moliere.
Look, I only met him once.
What do you mean once? Did he find you online? Wait, wait, who did you meet once?
Paul.
Paul,
I
who's
met
Paul?
I met him with Joni.
Why was Joni there?
She set it up.
Forget the setup. Who's Paul?
Our sperm donor. Did you guys think I was gay?
Oh man.
Oh, now we know with that scene, Seth, that poor Josh was in the movie theater when everyone laughed at that moment, and he thought they were laughing at him.
No, completely. It worked. It worked, and it's beautiful, and I'm proud.
Oh, it's so great.
Josh, you have more donations.
Wait, do you have more donations, or am I crazy?
Or do you?
You know what? Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't have them here.
Okay,
right, not yet.
So
Okay.
moving on. So back to Julianne and Annette for a second. You know, you're talking about the relationships and the audience laughing because I want to show this scene where you so know how to push each other's buttons, and I think the laughter is because every couple has been in that kind of situation.
Yeah, when this scene was on, we had to rewind it because I said, Seth, who are you? Are you Annette? Are you Julie?
I'm basically both, unfortunately.
We've been together how long? 14 years?
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah, it's like
and we don't even drink, but it's just that sort of passive aggressive whispering to each other. Here, take a gander.
You okay?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, go easy on the wine, hon. It's daytime. Okay. Same goes for the micromanaging. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, so then I want to show this scene where Mark comes over and you're talking about your free-form love of life. And Annette, how much fun was it to sort of contain? You do my favorite thing of playing against it, where you're sort of smiling at first. We know that you're traumatized, but you're smiling, which is I'm obsessed with the playing against it. Was that really fun to be that uptight and judgmental?
Oh, it was so fun, and sadly, it felt very natural to me. No, I remember so well, and I just watched that scene. So yeah, I remember it really well because we didn't know what was going to happen. Right, Mark? I mean, Julie, we had kids. We didn't know. We hadn't rehearsed it. So we just did it, and then all this stuff started happening. And all the stuff and the history of our relationship between me and Julie, and her thing about her work, and then Mark saying he quit college when Mia's just about to start college. Again, it's like there in the writing. But no, I do remember, and also see we're eating and drinking, and in fact, I was talking about with a girlfriend of mine who's an actress just today, in fact, about how. Give me something to do when I'm acting. If I just have to be like just act up, forget it. But if you give me a glass of water or something to eat please give me something. So the fact that we're like handing stuff around and we're eating and all of that really helps.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let's watch the passive aggressive.
Oh my
smiling.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, I was considering it, but then I dropped out of school.
Oh. You dropped out of college?
Yeah, it just wasn't my thing.
No, huh? Why's that?
I don't know, it just seemed like a massive waste of money after a while, I was just sitting on my ass listening to people spout ideas I could just as easily have learned in a book.
Oh.
Good. Great.
Understood.
Oh, man. Yeah. Who is this? Who did you bring?
We want to remind everyone we're doing this for the Actors Fund. We've got the great triple match by producer Gary Gilbert. And I just got an update from Maggie at the Actors Fund. We are up to $3,865, which is going to be tripled. So that's way more than $10,000. I say let's try to get this to $10,000 so we get $40,000 for the Actors Fund tonight.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And Maggie also said, because this is our weekend show, that the match will, any money, because most people watch this after we're live, and so any money that's raised, so if it's Sunday afternoon and you're seeing this and you're donating, it's still going to be tripled.
Sorry, Gary.
So up to 11:59 Eastern Sunday, you can donate it and it will be tripled. So keep them up. This is just what we're getting live, which is amazing. So I think we're well on our way to that 10, so we can get the 40.
Hey, Julianne, would you read in the private chat? I wrote another thing from the grant recipient. Don't read the special shows that are coming up.
Don't read that part.
I know, I won't read that. Wait, let me see if I have it. Okay.
This is from a grant recipient.
I wanted to reach out.
It's like, it's funny because the stuff.
Oh, you're on an iPad.
I'm on an iPad.
It's easier on a computer. What about you, Annette Bening? Do you have it?
I couldn't.
I have a chat.
I'm going to put it in again.
Yes, I do.
I'm jealous.
From a grant recipient, I want to reach out and say thank you. I just received my grant. I was so happy. You lifted a huge boulder off my shoulders and gave me hope that I can make it through the next step. Thank you for the wonderful gift and for helping me keep the light on.
Is that literal?
Amazing. Okay, here's another one from a grant recipient. I want to reach out and say thank you.
Oh, that's the same one. Sorry, I put it in twice.
Yeah, he put it in twice.
Sorry.
It sounded very familiar.
But I like your new line reading on it. Always making it different.
Never the same.
It shows it.
Okay, so we just had a silly question for Julie and Josh. It's like, how is it acting with the ping pong table? Is it sort of like what Annette was saying with the food? It's just like
I had anxiety watching it.
Josh, you remember? Remember that?
I remember playing ping pong, and I know that it was challenging.
Well, I was really proud of myself because I'm not athletic at all, but I was really on fire. I was like on fire that afternoon.
I mean, I was surprised just because, like, I agree with having like stuff to do and things to drink, but like hand-eye coordination of like hitting a thing while like acting and talking, that's a big order, tall order for an actor. Like, come on, guys.
In the light, it was like Lisa was like, "We've got
That's right.
20 minutes. We got 20 minutes for this shot."
Yeah. But I think because there was such a because it's, it was a smaller movie in a sense, we didn't have a lot of time for almost anything. We had practically zero rehearsal time as well. That energizes the scenes, I think, in a way that I love. I think that it gives you like, okay, yeah, you have 20 minutes. Play ping pong, falls off the table, just pick it up and keep going. Like there's no like, oh, we got to reset, we got to do that. Because every time you cut, it's 20 minutes before you do another take and everything. So it gives you an energy and a sense of life to it. It's like, okay, it's happening. It's all happening now. It's all like real. And I love that element a lot.
We have a little shot of it.
A little bit. Just so people who haven't seen it will know.
Oh, come on. Yeah, what's the score?
Pretty close. Oh,
Yeah? 20-3, match point.
Julianne, I was on fire.
You were on. I like the reach in with the leg coming up in the back.
It was perfect timing because that ball falls off right as Annette asks, like, "What's the score?" And she goes, "It's close." As she's like picking up, yeah, it was great.
So we're showing all these clips from the movie, but we couldn't help but go back a little bit further than 2009, 2010.
I did some research. So for those that think that Annette only plays uptight doctors with short hair, she sometimes plays long-haired country women. Let's take a gander at this.
That's right.
My brother buckarooed there, Bud Tillman. You know him?
Afraid not.
I heard George say you're going off trapping.
Yep.
You like it? Being all alone? My daddy swears he's going to someday. Says he gets choked to death by all the bureaucrats in the government telling him how to run his ranch.
Southern Belle.
Whoa.
Was that your first movie?
That was, yes. I was at the Denver Center Theater Company, and there was this movie of the week that was Matt Salinger. And so I got this 5-minute role. I was like the girl he met in the bar. But actually, what comes to mind when I see that scene is that we shot a wide shot of the scene, and then they said, okay, we're done. You can go out. And I thought, wow, that's so quick. Like, that's it? We just did it. I mean, I didn't even know enough to know that, of course, they're going to come in and do a medium shot and then do a close-up. I mean, that's how much I knew.
You're in a theater.
Nothing.
You were a theater person. You thought it's like you just run it.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I learned a little bit. And I think I got my SAG card doing that job.
My next question is for Josh. Josh, who do you consider a true neighborhood hero?
And in what regard exactly?
Well, I'll let you tell us what a true neighborhood hero is.
Guys, you're looking at a true neighborhood hero. Before he came to town, there were only 5 TV channels. If you don't believe me, ask your mom. But now, you can get over 250 channels thanks to Time Warner's advanced cable network. It's way better than satellite. And if you ever have a problem, he's there 24/7.
Just doing my job.
Oh,
Mom, can I please have 1 glass of wine? Mom, please. Mom, please.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Did they dye your hair?
Yes.
Bleach.
No, that was me. That was what I was into. It's a funny story. I was the spokes kid for Time Warner Cable, and they almost fired me on day 1 because I couldn't say Time Warner. Literally.
Oh no!
They wanted the emphasis on the other syllable, and I kept on putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, and so I kept saying like Time Warner Cable, and they're like, "What's the matter with this kid? Is this bleach onto his head? Like, what's going on?" So I almost got fired, but oh my God!
Great. So
I was like 8 years old.
I know what's devastating is when you filmed that, we were all around 40. That's what's mortifying. It was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Basically.
Oh man.
Move on from there. Okay, I want to go back to the movie because there's so many things. So, Julianne, you have this scene, and it's such an inside stupid story, but I once wrote this comedy sketch with my friend Jack where these girls are having a slumber party and they're 13, and one girl is being really mean to another girl, and the girl is mortified, but she can't say anything to the girl that's being mean to her. And then her mom comes in and offers cookies, and she's like, "Mom, you ruined it!" And it just reminds me of you yelling at the gardener. It's like, what does the gardener have to do with it? Anything? You have so much.
Poor gardener.
It's like so much acting out.
Actor, brilliant. He was so good. Oh my God. Oh, wow, fantastic.
How did you feel?
Oh, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with him so much because he was so great. So it was easy to do. But also, let me say about like me and Mark, why we've been friends for a long time, and I'm really, really close to his wife, Sunrise. So one of the things that was great about all that stuff that I had to do with Mark, we had all these like nutty sex scenes, and I was like, please just don't ever pull yourself away from my body. I don't want anybody to see
I was just holding on.
Because then it's not funny. Then you're like, oh, you know. So, but Mark, because we had been friends for so long, and I was such friends with his wife, I could say like and he would just hang on to me the entire time. Remember?
Yeah, I do. It was the only love scene that I had done that I didn't get in trouble for.
You had permission ahead of time.
I did. He's like, I trust that woman.
Here you are. People don't know. So this is right after Julianne is having a major affair with Mark. And whether the gardener knows or not, he's not interested, but she's just projecting all of her guilt and anger. I'm obsessed with it. And Josh, did you watch this? Just know that you didn't know it was a comedy, even though it's like a classic comedy line in it.
What's that look you're giving me?
What look?
The look that you're giving me right now.
No, that's no look. That's just my face.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play this game with you. You know, you can keep your judgments to yourself.
No, I didn't give no look, senora.
I don't ask why you blow your nose all the time. If you have a drug problem, then that's your business.
No, I don't have no drug problem. I have allergies.
Then why are you a gardener?
Oh. So busted.
I should have picked up on the comedy when I read that scene. You're right. You're right, guys. You're right. I get it.
Exactly.
Did Lisa tell you guys the tone? Did she say that it's a comedic drama? Did she talk about the tone?
No, I don't think so. No, you just
the language, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's this really great old book called The Craft of Comedy. It's one of these, and there's the lady on the cover literally has it's a black and white photograph and she has a funny hat on. I think she's like a turn of the century actress, and she wrote this book called The Craft of Comedy. And it's all about how, which is exactly what Josh was just saying, that you just have to play you have to play whatever you're doing with absolute seriousness. That's the essence of it. If you give it away, then that's what makes it not funny. And that's why Josh was so hilarious in the movie, because he didn't even think of it as being funny. So for me, I don't know what Mark thinks or Julie or you guys, but it's in the writing. You just play the truth of it. And then actually also in the theater, sometimes people laugh and sometimes people don't laugh. It's just, if you try to play the truth of it, that's the aim anyway.
I want to ask Lisa if you know what? I literally see her. She's still here. Hold on, Lisa. We're gonna I can see you. She's not even left.
Oh my gosh,
Lisa, can we ask
Hi,
you?
Lisa.
I'm so glad you're still here.
We didn't see you.
I'm watching you.
Wow, Lisa.
Lisa, what was your take? You had to have known it was comedic, right?
Come on, we wrote it. We were cracking up the whole time.
Josh was a kid. Give him a break, Seth.
I know.
He was a
He
kid.
never told me he didn't know it was comedic. I was like, this kid's genius. He's playing the straight guy. This is
I did know it was comedic.
So
It's all a joke. I knew the whole time.
Afterwards, I was like, wow, that's just meta, crazy, amazing. He was so good.
Hey, Mia, I want to talk to you for a second because you kind of, she's probably watching our kid, but you remind me of our kid because kids so much want to be adults. And then sometimes as soon as they're given the chance, they immediately revert back to being a child. And there's that beautiful moment at the end of the movie where you're like, I want to be alone in my dorm room. And then 1 second later, you're like, where's my family? So beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It was, I guess it's that quintessential kind of rite of passage, it is. I even feel it now when I'm 30, but you're always trying to sort of separate from your parents, but then I don't know, you kind of never do because they are a part of you. So yeah, it's but yeah, that was such a beautiful moment.
It's so real. It's all just take a look at that. It's so beautiful.
Hey.
Where'd you guys go?
We had to move the car.
Thought you left. Oh, wouldn't you leave without saying goodbye?
Give us some credit.
So
sweet.
I thought you left. They're like, what? So sweet.
Oh.
So vulnerable. She was so vulnerable, and to do that in the middle of you're outside their cars with moving boxes, doing everything really fast, and all this stuff happening. And I remember, Annette and I were like, Mia turned around and said that thing, and I was like, it killed me. And that's what the whole movie's all about, that moment that Mia has where where'd you guys go? And then when Josh says you guys can't break up because you're too old. Those, that thing about that family, it was just, that was beautiful.
Mark, I'm so curious what you thought your character was. It's so sick that you're like, hey, let's get together at the end with Julie, no acknowledgement that you ruined their family. How did you justify it? I'm so curious.
Things happen. Shit happens. I just think he's just somebody it just doesn't. Nothing really lands on, kind of, in a way. It just is not. It's not that deep, for him. Which is the tragic part about him in a strange way is that he never lands. He's always flying, and that's appealing in some sense, but it's impossible to lay down roots. And so he doesn't relate to to what's happened in the same way. It doesn't have the same value to him. And I think he, in a strange way, I mean, what I was feeling at that moment was, okay, I'm ready to really make the best of this. I'm ready to be their dad. And you know, the line that was never spoken was, I'm gonna buy a minivan. You know, that's what he was thinking. I think I told Lisa that. I was like, Lisa, I think what he wants to say is, hey, I'm gonna buy a minivan. You know, but yeah.
I love it. And Julianne, your reaction is so hilarious, dismissive. Like there's no wavering. It's you're clicking and throwing the phone. It literally made me laugh so hard I had to rewind.
But that's right.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. But you know, also let's talk a minute about like how hot Mark Ruffalo is in this movie. Like,
we'll handle it.
Talk about that.
So it's like you have this family that's in transition, and all these people want these different things, and then this energy comes in that's explosive, like absolutely explosive, and attractive and interesting, and he sends everybody ricocheting,
right,
every which way, right? Because he has this like incredible energy, and it's not settled down. Like I love that. Remember that scene that you have with Yaya DaCosta, and she's like, "I'd use your stuff," and he's like, you know, it's like everybody's like after him, but it's like like Mark said, he can't land, but he's like this bomb that sends everybody every which way, and it wouldn't have. I mean, I can't think of anybody else who could have played that part. I mean, seriously.
Thanks, Julie.
I
feel the same way about you and Julie. I feel the same way about all you guys. I mean, it was just a special moment in time that comes rarely, and is so cherished. The perfect people at the perfect time, in the perfect story, with the perfect director. You know, it's just like what we live for.
Mark, I know you were at a crossroads when you shot the movie. I mean, I read that. I think it's becoming apparent like why you decided to continue acting, because you were planning on this being your last movie acting in, but you were going to direct. Is that right? Is that where you were thinking?
Pretty much, yeah. You know, I'd just my brother just passed away, and I was kind of reassessing everything, and you know, I'd played some parts that I wasn't really feeling connected to, and I kind of got into my agent's idea of, and my manager's idea of my career, and I sort of lost a little bit sight of my own, what was keeping me feeling alive in it. And so I thought, well, maybe I had just directed a movie, and I was like, you know, maybe this is what I want to do now. And so this will be my last film, and it was true. My wife Sunrise, I'd read it, and I said, this is really good, but you know, I'm out. And Julie came back later, and they were still trying to cast it, right? I think, and they're like, hey, does Mark have any interest? It's still open, and I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Oh wow.
And so I said, text her and see if that thing, if they had cast it or not, you know, and they hadn't, and then we sort of re-engaged, and I'm so happy I did, because that night that we did see it together, you know, you're sitting in a theater, you know, 200 people, you don't know how it's going to play. And for me, those first ripples of I'm very moved by this. Those first ripples of laughter said to me that we had touched into people's hearts in a way that that was deep. You know, laughter is a very kind of interesting thing, and people got to be together to have a big belly laugh together. You know. And so you're touching them in a communal way, and it's about the truth. You know, what they're laughing at is their own lives, their own selves, and that was very moving to me. And then I was like, well, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of thing I want to be part of, and these are the kind of people I want to work with. And why not? Why not just do that version of my career? You know.
Wow. It changed your life, man.
It all does.
Well, show
Everything does.
Here's that amazing scene where you're begging and Julianne, you're throwing on the phone. It's like, I'm not interested.
Hey, you know what? I just say we go for it. I mean, it's all out in the open now. Let's just do this thing.
Paul,
I don't care what you say, Jules. This can work, you know. This isn't a mistake. This isn't just happening for no reason. Let's get the kids together. I'm sick of this life, you know. Let's make this happen. I'm ready. Fuck it.
Jesus.
Hello?
Hello?
So good. So good.
Tragic.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're wrapping up here. We've got just a couple of clips left. We want to remind everyone, Triple Match producer Gary Gilbert is tripling anything that's donated to the Actors Fund via StarsInTheHouse.com. You know, it's scrolling there at the bottom. You can also text Fund 2020 to 56512. There you go. Thank you, David. Yeah. Up to 11:59 Eastern tomorrow, Sunday. Yes, and it'll be tripled. So keep them on.
Just have a couple of clips left I want to show. So I want to just show the moment where Annette and Julianne, you guys are in such a fight at the restaurant. It's so devastating, but also James knows, because I'm always doing my comedy, and always right when I get to my sassy punchline, the waiter always walks over and I'm like, "You've ruined." So like right when you say the most devastating line, the bartender, I'm like, "Oh my God, I identify so much."
Yep.
So again, what was it like to film something that's so horrible to watch? It's so uncomfortable.
wasn't that our first day, Annette?
I think you're right. Actually.
Oh my gosh.
We know each other. Like we barely knew each other. And we were like, what are we doing?
But Lisa, that was also my rant. That was my rant thing, wasn't it? And also Lisa and I we had talked about that, right?
Yeah, we did. We had a good gab unpacking that scene, and you really focused it. But it was tricky first day, and you know, a lot of verbiage.
Super hard.
Yeah. I want to say really quickly too that something that we haven't really focused on too much, but you know, this is about a gay couple, right? So when I was one of the conversations I've had, I'm sure everybody's been approached in a different way about the movie, but I was in Cuba and I had just landed. In fact, I got to go with a group of people from the Film Academy, and we had just landed and we were literally still in the little Havana airport, and a man walked up to me and grabbed my arm and said, "Oh, I just want you to know that movie that you made, The Kids Are All Right, how much it meant to me, because in my neighborhood, like I'm gay, but nobody really understood. But then when they saw this movie, they sort of did, because they saw, oh, I see, it's just family, it's just like everybody." And I was really struck by that. So it's not, you know, it's just the byproduct of what we do sometimes, is that we can maybe open a few minds, and I know I feel that way when I see movies or TV or whatever, that you know it can really open your mind and change you and take you inside of something that you otherwise wouldn't have been inside of. So I always remember that moment, because this guy, he really grabbed my arm, and I could tell, and he said it really changed the community that he was in.
Well, we have this clip. I'm gonna show it. You have to listen carefully to the very end, because you don't see the server, you hear her.
You hated it when I worked. You wanted me at home taking care of the kids. You wanted a wife.
That is just not true.
No, you didn't like any of the nannies, and you sure didn't back my career.
What are you talking about? I just helped you start another business.
Yeah, so you can feel better about yourself.
No, Jules. so you can feel better about yourself.
Are you even attracted to me anymore? Do you still like the wine?
God. Lisa, was that? I'm sure you. How were you inspired by that line? Has that happened to you? Like you're in the middle of a really deep conversation at a restaurant, and the waitress or waiter comes over. It was so real. It was so uncomfortable.
Oh, haven't we all had that moment where we're just like crying in a restaurant and something, just something so intimate, and then you're like, oh right, I'm in public. It's kind of horrible. Yeah. I'm a big crier, so it happens to me frequently.
So it has happened.
Well, this is as we do have two more clips, but we also have Josh. You're not alone in the potential embarrassment department here. What?
I have to set it up.
So Seth's going to set it up here, so you're not alone.
There's two I want to set up.
Yeah.
So first, Julianne, you play a gardener. I know. But it's not the first time you've done anything.
A landscaper.
Sorry.
Landscaper.
I know it's your new business.
Yeah.
It's not the first time you've worked closely with flowers. I'd like to go back in time to your just emoting over flowers.
Trade you.
Kevin, I told you to go away.
I told you I was staying.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Steven Weber?
That is Steven Weber.
Yeah, he took a bullet for me and died in my arms.
That's love.
I love that he was on a soap opera. People don't know Steven Weber is talk about comedy.
Oh.
If you've never seen this, Steven Weber, have you seen his driver's license that he actually got away with?
No.
This is literally his driver's license photo. He said it's his greatest triumph. That's hilarious.
It's so good.
That's amazing. I'm trying it.
What soap is that, Julianne? What soap is that?
As the world turns. That was my first job right out of college.
Wow.
So romantic.
May was on that. Meg Ryan was on that show. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
What a gig, man.
Mhm.
So Ruffalo, we do have something for you. So I noticed you have a beard now, and I'm wondering if it's because you're trying to cover up some of your skin problems. Why don't we take a look when you obviously needed Clearasil?
You can run, but you can't hide. You zap one pimple, another one appears. You need to zap, double zap your zits with new double clear pads from Clearasil. It's double thick to hold double the medicine. 3 pimples you have, zap. Fight once you don't. Zap, double thick, double medicine, double zap, double clear. Nothing works like this to fight pimples and oil. New double clear pads from Clearasil. Double zap your zits. Zap, zap.
Brilliant.
My humble beginning.
That's amazing.
I just have a question. Did you base your look? Was it on Sheena Easton? Or did you base it on Melissa Manchester? Because it's very similar.
Melissa Manchester. That's amazing.
Just needed to know that.
That was my first job. My first acting job.
National commercial, man. That's a great gig. How old were you?
I was 22. 20.
So that's a good paycheck.
That was a good paycheck.
I was going to say, still making residuals off that.
Did that pay off your college loans? That's good money, man.
No, I took all my friends to like dinner for like it lasted like a month. I took all my friends to dinner and bought I bought a really nice stereo, and then I went to the ATM machine. There was nothing in there.
It was that immediate.
Oh, man. Well, Seth, sadly, I think we have to wrap up here.
Guys, it was so great. Your movie is so wonderful. It's so amazing to see you all in real life.
Annette, thank you for putting this all together.
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Annette.
guys. Well,
That's
you
great.
know, I thank you, Seth and James. You've been at it for a year. I know you recently had your 1-year anniversary of doing the shows. So thanks to you guys, and thanks to everybody at the Actors Fund and the staff who pour their hearts into their work. And that's why we're all here. And thanks to all of you guys. Everybody stepped up immediately and just said, oh my God, yes, I'd be happy to do it. So thanks to everyone. And thank you especially to Gary, who stepped up to, you know, triple all of the donations tonight. We really thank you for being there for the Actors Fund. And, you know, in our business, we take care of our own as best we can. And so for everybody out there, you know, our hearts are with you. We know it's a tough time. And if you need any help, please reach out to the Actors Fund. They're amazing. They're great people, and they will help you if they can.
So well said. All right, we're gonna show. I gotta play some music for the credit. I'll play Joni Mitchell since she's a Joni Mitchell fan.
That's right. So we want to remind everyone we have our well, Seth, you have your concert series tomorrow with Ali Stroker.
Who won a Tony Award for Oklahoma? The Seth concert series.
And then Tuesday night, Brenda Braxton. Wednesday night, Cagney and Lacey. And we're keep going here, and make sure if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep giving.
Yes, keep giving. Yes. Thank you, Cass.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
This is Joni Mitchell, right?
That's great, Seth.